What is going on, guys? It's Hedge, and this is a piece that was very, very, very long in the making. It was very long in the making, and it was also very highly requested in the comments of multiple videos. Now, when I did my first video on the channel, which was the Barney, the original trilogy, it was like a very, very, very brief retrospective on the first three home videos from Barney and the Backyard Gang, as well as the creation of the character and the costume and everything. I knew that when I put that video up, that meant that at some point I would be drawing this character and this iteration of the character. Now, at the time, I didn't have any plans to do a review series or a retrospective series on those first few home videos at the time, so I knew that at the very least, I had some sort of breathing room to be able to just let it sit, because I wasn't all that confident in my works revolving Barney at the time, because it's an interesting. I don't want to say it's like overly complicated, but it's a very interesting design, and I again like I wanted to have some time to sort of manifest itself into existence, I guess. And after I announced the series that I'd be doing, the Hedge Spotlight on A Day at the Beach, The Backyard Show, and Three Wishes, I knew that at the end of those, I wanted to do the 88 Barney, because I felt like that would be a nice way of sort of sealing everything off and finishing that. And I originally planned for it to be up quicker than it is now, but here it is. um, Excuse me. So this costume is very interesting. Of course, visually, of course, like very very different than what we would see later on in the franchise. There's a lot of things that make this costume a lot more rough, a lot more just apparent that it's a very first design. Now, I wanted to highlight a lot of those features in this piece. One of the more notable things you'll see on the face is I drew the like a little gap above the eyelids, and if you look at the costume, there is a very noticeable like dark gap uh, between like the eyelids and just the top of the eye shape. And that's something that you can actually notice on different costumes, like season one and two's Barney costume has that. Of course, being the same suit, you can see it more prominently in like Barney in Concert and Rock with Barney. There's a gap, but it's not nearly as noticeable as it is on the 88 Barney, and I wanted to sort of highlight that because it does make him look a lot more distinct compared to the other costumes that came after him. Um, this costume is a very deep purple, almost blue, like it's spray painted. I wanted to make it look spray painted in the piece, but I wasn't entirely sure how to do that without it looking off putting. So I just decided to leave that out. Let's see here. Also, this piece has gone through a lot of different revisions. While I was making the Spotlight series to Barney and the Backyard Gang, I had this piece in the back of my mind, trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I wanted it to be somewhat different than the pieces that I had done of Barney beforehand. I wanted it to be something super, super, super special and something unique. And I hadn't drawn this Barney since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to draw this Barney all the time, trying to get like the proportions right and the details correct. And it always looked kind of scary to me, just because I never really fully understood this design philosophy. So technically, this is the first time I've drawn Barney in well over like 15 years. So again, like it's very eye-opening to me, and it was a lot of fun. Now, I wasn't sure originally if I wanted to have this piece with one of the Backyard Gang kids in it or not, because originally this piece was supposed to be Barney standing and maybe like waving off into the distance with like Moonkin in the background and like the Three Wishes hat and everything, like from the fun part. But I felt like that would have been too boring. So eventually I just decided to go with including one of the Backyard Gang kids, and that, of course, being Tina, as you see here. Tina is not the focus character per se. I don't want to say that, especially for not the first few home videos. I feel like the first few home videos did a good job of making sure that every kid had a good amount of screen time and enough time to shine. But you could tell that Tina had a very prominent role just just in the series in general, because she was the youngest kid of the group, and she would always be tagging along with Barney and holding his hand and resting in his arms. Like, Tina was very much a big part of the series, and I knew if any of the Backyard Gang members were going to be in this piece, it had to be Tina. If not, like Michael and Amy, but I really wanted Tina to be a part of this. Now, another rule that I gave myself was not to have Barney doing any sort of action. No jumping, no 360 spin, no excited like anything. Because in those first few home videos, that's not what he was. I mentioned before that he was very sort of just calm, and he didn't really move around as much. And again, like, that could have been due to the material of the costume or what, but he was very just sort of slow and gentle, and intentional or not, that added something to his character. And I wanted this piece to reflect that, so I made sure to not include any sort of like acrobatic actions with Barney. I wanted him to be very faithful to the material that this costume derived from, and that was a very, again, like a very important thing to me. Now, I also wanted to add something that incorporated the three videos as a whole. Now, looking at this piece again, it probably it probably represents more of the Backyard Show than anything else. You can see I added the big red wagon, the little red wagon, quote unquote, and then like the little boxes from the clubhouse that Tina is sitting on top of. Now, the Barney doll here, there is a picture that that came out recently that was found from like 1990, and it showed like the very last photo that we know of at this point of this costume, and it was all run down and it was torn apart, and it had been through a lot of stuff. And it was a girl holding the Dakin Barney from 1990 while standing in front of this Barney right here. And I thought that was so interesting to me. I mean, it was sad. It was sad seeing the condition that this costume was in. And of course, I'm not going to post the photo because I don't want the, of course, don't want to get the source lost or anything like that. So you got to be respectful of that, 100%. But it was a very interesting photo to me, and I wanted to sort of incorporate that feeling into this piece because I feel like it meant something. Like Barney is still here, even if he looks, like run down and broken and torn apart. He's still here. And again, she was holding the Dakin Barney from the latter half of the Backyard Gang, and I thought that was really cute. And I wanted to make sure that got represented here. And I added like the sparkles from like him coming to life in those early videos, the effects that they put in there, just because I like those a lot. And yeah, this piece was a lot of fun to make. I was waiting to make this for a long time, and I'm glad I could finally get that out, because there isn't all that much artwork out there of Barney from 1988, and I wanted to sort of contribute to that and place my own hat into the well, I guess. And here he is. Now again, you probably saw at the beginning of the video, but you can view all of my on-stage artworks on my Instagram, Hedge Museum Stage. It's called Stage Play. You can see it in the link in the description below. All of my pieces will be there in time. I post them periodically, and that's where all of my full works will be. Now, of course, please do not repost them without permission. But you can view them all just right now on the Instagram. That's where they will be. That will be my online portfolio. And this is the piece, Friends Are Forever. I really like this one a lot. I'm really proud of the way this one came out. And again, like, there's going to be a lot more art stages in the coming weeks, I guess. Months. There will be at least a new one like every other week or so. From what, now that's not a promise. I don't really have like a set schedule or anything, but I would expect a few every month. So there's that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have not seen, my retrospective series, I did full reviews of all three of the first home videos from Barney and the Backyard Gang, A Day at the Beach, The Backyard Show, and Three Wishes. If you have not seen them, they are right here on the channel, but also I'm going to be making a video at some point that compiles all three of them together in one solid video, and that will be on the channel as well. So if you want to wait for that, you can, but they're also right now on the channel. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to subscribe. There's a lot of Barney content on the channel right now that I'm sure you'll be able to find something that you enjoy. Also, thank you to my lovely patrons. There will be Barney related reaction content coming very soon. So if you want to see that, make sure to become a patron. And I will tell you more about that when that comes up. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for coming along with me on Hedge on Stage. And I will see you guys in the next one. See you.